Okay, so the final part of this activity is we want to learn different ways that you can filter out data so that you can find only what you want to see. So what we're going to do is we're still using this same file, and we want to come over here and under the tour list arrow, we want to click on that, and we want to select filter. And what that's going to do, it's going to open up and show us a list of all occurrences that it can find of tours. Now notice, for example, there's African National Parks. That is in there twice. There's 2 entries in here, but it's only in here once because it can only find one occurrence of African National Parks. Now, we only want to be able to find the ones for Yellowstone. So the quick way to find Yellowstone only is to click this button right here that says select all, and then that will unselect all of the options, and then we can scroll down to the bottom and then we can quickly find Yellowstone. Now, by the way, one of the reasons that it makes it easy in this particular manner is that we had already sorted this in ascending order by tour date, and so everything shows up in ascending order here. So it makes it easy to find Yellowstone. So then I click OK, and then it shows us that Yellowstone we have, and here's one of the things you could do going back to the total row. We can come over here into the total row, and now we can click, and we want to do a count. And it should let us put count numbers right here because these are numbers, and it counts 6 cells that's got numbers in it. So this quickly tells us that we have got 6 tours for Yellowstone that average 18 days. We have a total of 180 seats available, and we can even do average prices and things of that nature. We can do max and min, but I think right now that these are probably the ones that would be most beneficial to us to be able to get a quick count of is the number of occurrences, which is a count, the average days of the trip, which all of the Yellowstone tours you would think would all be the same length, but I guess you could have them at different lengths. And then the total seats available for these. And again, you got some of these that have more seats available because we've got this one that we created in the activity that was a new entry, and none of the seats have been reserved yet. So then the next thing we want to do is we want to come over here and we're going to clear this filter off the tour. So we click that button again, and then we click clear filter from tour. And then the next thing we want to do is come over here to the seats reserved arrow, and we want to click on that. And let's see what happens when we're dealing with numbers. So you get a little bit different options over here. If you come over here to number filters, you want to come over here and select top 10. So what it's going to do, it's going to take all of these entries, and we've got a little over 60, and it's going to give you the top 10 entries based upon this number right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to click top 10, and here it's going to give us the option to select items, which is by default what you get is the top 10 items. But what if you wanted top 10%? Now again, we've got like 60. Let's go back and look at this real quick. Again, if we look at our total row, we've got 62 entries in here. So the top 10 items obviously would be 10. But if you did the top 10%, then you would end up and you would see 6 or 7 items instead of 10. So we're going to come back down here to filter again, and actually I clicked on the wrong one. So again, I had a distraction in my room, and I had to I lost my place. So let's come back here to the seats reserved. So we're going to come over here to the number filters, and again, you may tell that I had to edit this video a little bit. Come back here to top 10. And we want to change it from items to percent. And when we do that, then we're going to be left with either 6 or 7. Probably 6 entries if I had to guess. We'll click OK. And now we've got 6 entries right here. Because there are 62 total, and 10% of that is 6.2. You round 6 down, you get 6. Round 6 to the nearest whole number, you get 6 and not 7. So that's why I was guessing 6, and I was right. And that will tell you of these top 10% tours based upon the seats reserved. You've got 6 of them, and they average 17 days. All right, so the next thing that we're going to do is we can come back. What if we wanted to change this to 5%? Well, you could probably easily figure out you could come back and change this top 10% and make it 5%, and then you would see half of that, and then here you're going to see 3 instead. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to go under the, we want to edit these filters off this. We want to take the filters off. So click on Seats Reserved, and you want to clear the filter to get back to where we're supposed to be. And again, as I look at this, I don't see any filters on here. And by the way, the filter actually kind of looks like a funnel. I should have pointed that out. I'll do that here shortly. So the next thing I want to do is we go back to the Depart Date list arrow. And we're going to click it, and we're going to come down here to Date Filters. And let's say we wanted to find all the dates in the period for March. Then what you can do is, because March is the 3rd month, Excel is smart enough to figure that out. You can come up here and find March, and it's going to find that you have got 4 tours that leave in March. And again, here's that button I was just telling you about. It's got the arrow on there to indicate that it's sorted in ascending order, but you've also got the filter button on here. Okay. So then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go back and we're going to clear this out to get back so we can filter this out some other ways. And again, just to make sure that I've got everything I'm supposed to have, I want to take a quick look at the total row, and I see that I've got all 62 of these records that are here. And then the next thing that I want to do is I want to come over here and try to create a custom filter. So when I come back over here under the tour arrow, and I want to click on that, and I want to do a text filter, and over here under custom filter, we want to select the ones that says contains. Because what we want to do is we want to find all occurrences that are in this column where that cell contains, and we want to type in the word sailing. S-A-I-L-I-N-G. And it doesn't have to be case sensitive. And I click OK. And then what it's going to do is that it's going to filter out, and it's going to quickly show us the 2 tours that we have that have the word sailing in it. So if we wanted to do a sailing tour, that's how you could quickly find it, by a keyword. Okay. Now, you could go in and easily change that, and you could go to text filters again, and you can go to contains, and then you can change that from sailing to biking. And the thing is, you have to be very careful when you're spelling these, because if you're one character off, you won't find what you're looking for. So now I've got 5 biking tours in here, and it looks like 2 are in France and 3 are in Scotland. Now, by the way, the desktop version of Excel will give you even more ways that you can search, where you could do sailing or biking at the same time, where here you have to do these searches individually. Okay. So the next thing that we're going to do is we want to clear this filter from the tour. And then we've got all 62 of these back again. And we want to go to the Depart Date list arrow. And that is right here. And we're going to click on Date Filters, and we want to do a custom filter. So we come down here and do a custom filter. And we want to do is after. So we change this to is after. Now in this case, now this is one of the things, now it says after. Now because we're using the online version of this, is after is not one of the options. Because remember earlier I said all you have is ascending or descending. You don't have, for example, you don't have A to Z or greater. You don't have greater than or less than or whatnot. So here you got to select greater than. So we're looking for days that are greater than or after, and you have to put in the date 2/15/2016, because we want to find all tours that depart after February the 15th. So then you can click OK. And then when I scroll down, I see that all but 4 of them, so 58 of these, are after February the 15th of 2016. And if you don't believe me, you could sort these in ascending order by depart date. And then you're going to see that the first one that you see listed is February the 22nd. So you know that that is correct. So the next thing that we're going to do is you can also do something that is before. So if you do something that's before a particular date, you'd have to do is less than. So you can click on this button again, go to the date filter, and again you're doing a custom filter. And by the way, notice how up here you've got before or after or in between. Now that's something that I didn't even notice the first time. So in this case we want to do less than, well, we want to do before. So I mean, you could have also done less than. You could have come down here to custom filter and gone to less than. So we're doing before. Notice when I clicked before, it automatically defaulted to is less than. So we're going to put in April 15th of 2016. Sounds like it'd be a good, about when a spring break might be. You click OK. And then you find out in this case that you've got 12 tours that depart before that date. And the last one, if you wanted to sort this to see what is the latest one, you would sort these in descending order. And then you would see them in order of last to depart and then first to depart. Now, finally, you can sort these, you can filter these using multiple criteria. So, for example, what we're going to do is we want to clear all of these, clear all the filters out, and there was only that one. So again, let's just double check and see we've got all 62 of these again. So what we want to do is we want to look at depart dates first. So we want to filter out and we want to see all of the depart dates that are after June the 1st. So you go to date filters and then after, and then June the 1st would be 6/1/2016. And then that shows you that instead of 62, when I scroll down and I look, then we've got 41. But then the next criteria we want to look at is we want to look at price. We want to look at all of these tours that are after June the 1st and are less than $2,000. So then we come back here to the price. And we got to put a number filter on here. And we want to go and we want to say less than. And then you type in 2,000, and then you click OK, and you see that when you're done with this, you have a total of 8 tours, and they average 8 days in length, and you have currently 112 of these available. So that is it for this lesson. So you have learned a lot with this activity. You learned how to filter data on one or more criteria. You've learned how to sort data on one or more criteria. And again, this is a very, very useful element of Microsoft Excel, even in using the online version. It's not as good as the desktop version, but again, this online version to most people is free. And anything that's free is typically not going to be as good as the version that you pay for. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask.